point of time. We will cross our hands, put your elbows on your desk, and your right palm should be on your right eye, left palm on left eye, fingers crossed on the forehead. Cover your eyes. And adjust your fingers such that even if you open your eyes, you should experience complete darkness. And relax yourself. 3 to 5 deep breaths. While you inhale, inhale positivity. While you exhale, exhale negativity. Quiet yourself and relax. Slowly take your hands off. Open your eyes. I would request all of you all to come on your cameras. I love to see your faces. And please enter with the names you have registered, so I'll be able to read your names correctly. Good evening, I'm Mrs. Sohani. We started with physics on Tuesday. Today we will be taking a look at the chemistry part of your entrance exam. Before that, just a little about myself. I have been in teaching for the last 35 plus years, and I'm into the training of competitive exams. Can you see my screen? Yeah. So for the
Not yet.
last
Just
almost 30.
wait for a couple of minutes. The screen is still loading.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we can see now.
Right. So it's almost from 1986 that I'm into academics training, and almost from 1998 I've been training for competitive exams like scholarship. So my job has always been pulling the students above their chronological age at school, and I completely love that. I love to teach, I love to interact with students. Along with that, just like I was talking to you just now, non-academic essentials of academic success, how you should maintain your mindset, how you should develop certain study habits, how you should maintain the profile of your health and fitness, and how all that reflects on your academic success has been my topic of passion, and I've taken a number of workshops on it. We may think of some workshops on our group also later on. And I'm with M. Prakash Institute as chemistry faculty for foundation for the last almost 10 years. So I have learned a lot of different chemistry in these last 10 years. Being a chemistry graduate also, this was one of my biggest learning opportunities to look at chemistry like this. And in today's session, in the given short time, I will really like to bring the same vision in you as much as possible. Because one thing that has always struck me when I see the questions asked at M. Prakash Institute is that for particularly about these entrance exam questions, normally we have parents coming in and saying that this is a question out of syllabus. And we know that we have picked up the question very much from the syllabus. So it is about knowing how to read the given syllabus in a particular fashion. The same syllabus, but to be understood differently. I have briefed the whole syllabus as written in our website, that we have 8, 9, 10, 10 SSC, CBSC and ICSC as our syllabus. Let me tell you that all these books are available online. You need not buy the book. I have listed the topics under chemistry for SSC 8, 9, 10 chapter wise, CBSC 8, 9, 10 chapter wise, ICSC 8, 9, 10 chapter wise. I will be sharing this document with you later on. So you will know which chapters you are supposed to read from which books. Whichever board you belong to. If you are an SSC student, first read all the chapters of the SSC book. Then go to the CBSC book and read only that part which is extra than your SSC book. Then go to the ICSC book, read only that part which is extra for both SSC and CBSC. 85 to 90% content is going to be same in all three boards. There will be a variation of not more than 5 to 10%. So to cover the reading of all the topics, simply follow this rule, because if you are an SSC student, you have already done these chapters in your last 3 years. It is very easy for you to comprehend through the same book. And from the remaining two books, you have to just read the extra part so as to ensure that you have read the entire syllabus. This is the first step of how should I study. The very first step is that the entire text should have been read. Now, how to read it, we are going to see in some time. Then I have done topic-wise grouping across all the syllabi. If we look at the topics that are covered, these are the main topics: language of chemistry, structure of atom, matter, metals, non-metals. Now, if it is about structure of atom, where do you find the content on this? SSC Standard 8, Chapter 5, CBSE Standard 9, Chapter 3 and 4, ICSE Standard 8, Chapter 2 and Standard 9, Chapter 4 talks about structure of atom. So this is the topic-wise grouping of across the boards. So you can do this also, that I want to read about structure of atom. Instead of reading entire 8, entire 9, entire 10, you can go topic wise. Let me read structure of atom. Okay. First I will read 8 standard ka 5th chapter complete. Then I will go to CBSE 9 standard chapter 3 and 4. Okay. Then I will go to ICC 8 standard chapter 2, so on. So you have the complete understanding of what is given to you in structure of atom. No question is going to come outside this content. Underline my words 100 times. No question is going to come outside this given content. Your syllabus is very much this. Okay. So this will give you a very easy guideline of how to prepare, how to ensure that you have covered the entire year. Okay. And now another, a very quicker I would like to give you is, now depending or based on these all topics, questions have been designed. From 2012, we have entrance exams at our MPI till January and April 2023. We are going to discuss January 2023 and April 2023 papers in today's and next Thursday sessions. For the remaining papers, this is the paper analysis which I have done for you. So if you are interested in the questions on periodic table or periodic trends, right from 2012 to November 2022, which are the questions you want to check out on the questions on periodic trends? These are the questions. You go horizontally, you will get topic wise questions. You go vertically, you will get paper wise questions. I don't think any further simplification can be done about the entire syllabus. Complete overview of the syllabus in about 5 minutes I have given you. SSC, CBSE, ICSE, standard wise chapters, SSC, CBSE, ICSE, topic wise bifurcation, 2012 to 2022, paper analysis topic wise. And so you can always see on this left hand side, these are the main topics that are covered in our entire understanding of
Madam, can you
MPI.
share your screen once more? It is not updating.
हाँ हाँ एक मिनट हाँ share. आता बघ.
We are seeing the PDF of the syllabus.
अच्छा
Maybe we can stop sharing and share again.
बर
Share the whole screen.
हो थांब हं. Now is it visible?
Just a minute, it is loading.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. So see this paper analysis from 2012 to 2022, topic wise, year wise questions. So you want to see the questions on organic chemistry from 2012 right up to 2022. These are the questions year wise that are based on organic chemistry. And also note that these are the topics that are mainly covered: periodic table, periodic trends, different types of reactions, mole concept, and see maximum questions are coming on periodic table, types of reactions, mole concept, organic chemistry, and reaction chains. Many questions are coming on that. And then a few questions on redox understanding, metallurgy, very few questions on gas laws, very few questions on acid bases and stoichiometry. But by and large, these are the things which are covered topic wise, and understand the important topics out of that. This organic mole concept. Okay. So I'll be sharing all this with you after our session. So that will be like a ready reckoner to you to get started. Okay. Now, let me come to something very different. We all know the form of this exam, and we all know that these are the study things that we need to do. But apart from studies, there are a few smart tips that if you have not noticed them, I would like to bring them to your notice. Let me tell you that all these tips are to beat the system, and it's kind of cheating or shortcuts. We are right now exam oriented. आपण परीक्षार्थी आहोत, आता विद्यार्थी नाही आहोत. 2 आठवड्यात 4 आठवड्यात आपल्याला असं काही करायचं आहे की ज्याच्याने आपला एंट्रन्स एक्झाम क्लिक होणार. When you are going to be students, vidyarthi, knowledge oriented, your approach is going to be completely different. We can talk about it later on. Right now we have time constraints. So few scoring tips. You have to note that our answer is going to be a 2-digit number. from 00 to 99. So you know that if you get some answer beyond 00 and 99, सब कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. You've made some mistake. Your answer can never be 00 to 99. That is your tip. But the disadvantage is that if you get a wrong answer between 00 and 99, you have no clue to it that it is wrong. If you are getting answer 45, 0099, it can be wrong. In MCQ, you have 4 options and one of it is the answer. So there is a probability benefit which you lose, but the benefit is that it can never be anything beyond 0099. And that is exactly why if the answer is suppose 122, that can never be asked. So the examiner will ask if the answer is A, enter A by 2. Then you know that the real answer is not a 2-digit number. After dividing by 2, it is coming a 2-digit number. So you have to take hints to these instructions or multiply it by 2. Then maybe the answer is a decimal answer. By multiplying by 2, it is becoming a whole number. So take these hints of the format or the type in which you have to enter the answer to understand what the real answer could be. Another very important hint is that while reading, now this is a very, very important tip. Just now I gave you the list of what you can read. How to read. Our question is going to be such that the answer is going to be a 2-digit number. So while reading each and every line of the theory, now think how can this information be made into a numerical with 2-digit answer? If you're talking of an element, coming to chemistry, element, then what is a numerical thing? Atomic number, atomic mass, number of protons, neutrons, electrons. We can't ask the name of the element, but we can ask its atomic number. So while reading every line, think how it can be converted into a 2-digit number. If you observe our past papers, we are never asking any statements. Write the definition, write the law. If you have understood the definition and the law, you will be able to attempt the question based on that law. And this is exactly where students get stumbled. For them, learning is by hearting the statements, by hearting the lines in the book, and that will be of no use for MPI entrance. Please change your mode of studying, modify. We don't want any parroting except for a very few things like reactivity series has to be by hearted. We don't expect you to by heart anything. Understand the concept and learn to apply the concept. Change the way you read the chapter. Okay, not like your school exams. Then observe the types of questions that come. It can be a listing type question. Write the number of compounds which take place, or as I said, every information to be converted into a numeric. Now, while you are reading some question, you want to find from where this question must have been taken. One thing I have given you as a ground rule, that no question will come beyond these 9 books. 8, 9, 10, SSC, CBSE, ICC. इसके बाहर से कुछ नहीं आने वाला. तो आपने एक क्वेश्चन पढ़ा, अरे ये कहाँ से पूछा है, ये कौन सी थ्योरी है? Simple thing, go to the soft copy of that particular textbook, type the word, the soft copy, the PDF will track you to the chapter and the paragraph from where that word is coming. Read the theory, understand it, and then, oh, ये theory पे ऐसा question है क्या? Okay. And the examiner is keeping in mind some concept which he wishes to check. And around that concept, he weaves the question. So for you, the job is going from the question to the concept. Why the examiner must have asked this question? क्या चेक करने का रहेगा एग्जामिनर को? अगर वो समझ में आता है तो आंसर फाइंड करना बहुत इजी हो जाएगा. Keep the examiner's mindset. And the most important thing is that after solving the question, you need to enter the answer in the exact format that is asked. Up to the last but one step, you have done everything correct. You found the answer in kg, but the answer is asked in grams. You will enter a wrong number. or you've done everything correct, just one decimal here, there, and we are asking you to enter the integer part of the answer. Everything is right, but your final answer entered is wrong, you will get 0 marks. There is not going to be any partial marking over here. That is the biggest disadvantage. Children do it to the last step, last but one step. Used correct formula, everything. कैलकुलेशन में इतनी सी गड़बड़ हो गई, फाइनल आंसर रॉन्ग हो गया, आंसर आपको 0 मार्क मिलने वाला है. सब्जेक्टिव मार्किंग में you could have got 4.5 for that question, but here it is 0 or 5. You get it? So that is the most important thing with respect to scoring in the exam. You've understood the topic very good, but to be a good scorer, the last step becomes very, very crucial. Keep these non-academic aspects in your mind where you're focusing on the academic part. That will give you the cutting edge. I have not shared any screen right now. Please enter with your name in which you are there in on the group. So that is the most important part of the whole thing. Work hard. There is going to be a good competition. Put in your best. We are already 50 here and already 20 students are selected. So around 20 to 25 from here are going to get selected maximum. So understand what competition you are in. Take it very, very healthy. Okay, let's quickly move on to our today's paper of 29th January. This is 29th January 2023 ka entrance paper. We are going to look at it question by question and try to understand the associated areas of that question. What more you could have read or what other similar questions you could have got on this theory, how to think all round on every question. And this is exactly how you're going to work with the remaining papers now. There were a few students and parents who asked us that how much can you do in 2 lectures, ma'am? And of course, we cannot do everything. We cannot cover the entire theory, but we can definitely give you the vision of looking at questions. Yeah. Okay. Now over to our 29 January 23 paper. Question 1. What is the molecular mass of the third homologue of ethylene? What is the molecular mass of the third homologue of ethylene? Carefully observe the question. Which is the topic that this particular question is checking? It is organic chemistry. And within organic chemistry, we must be knowing what is ethylene first, and then you must be knowing the meaning of homologue. So the subtopics expected are meaning of what is ethylene and what can be a homologue. What is the reference chapter? Where will you get this? In your SSC book. I have always tried to keep it first to SSC. If I don't find it in SSC, only then I go to ICSE or CBSE. Because maximum, I think 95% theory, you will get it in SSC book here or there. So in SSC, 10th standard, chapter 9, page 118 talks about homologous series of alkenes. We must know that alkenes are those carbon compounds, hydrocarbons, which have a double bond in it. And homologous series is the next alkenes with increasing number of carbon atoms in it. For a homologous series, the difference in the consecutive homologue is of a CH2 group. The first possible alkene is, the general formula for alkene is CnH2n. We can have the first alkene with minimum 2 carbons because to form a double bond, You cannot have an alkene with one carbon. So the lowest alkene is C2H4. The IUPAC name of it is ethene, and the colloquial name of it is ethylene. Ethylene is not the IUPAC name, it is the colloquial name. You can make a chart. First 3-4 alkane alkynes have colloquial names also. Don't get confused कि ये ene आ गया तो ये क्या है. This is a colloquial name. It is the same as ethene. Ethene is the IUPAC name. Then for the next homolog, it will be C2H4 plus CH2 is the first homolog. That will be C3H6. And here they are asking the third homolog. So it will be C3, C4 and C5H10. Third homolog of ethylene will be C5H10. And then again we must know how to compute the molar mass. So this goes to our 8th standard understanding. See how the concepts are getting interwoven. Every question will demand complex concepts from anywhere from those 3 books. Very few questions will be confined to a few lines in some lesson. Most of the questions will need an assorted and complete understanding of the entire syllabus. A part of it, to solve a part of it, you will need something from here. To solve a part of it, you will need something from there, and you should be able to combine both those things and reach your answer. So do not track your understanding that this is organic chemistry, this is mole concept, this is periodic table. You should be able to look at the curriculum with an overview that I need this from here, this from here, this from here, and I'm joining all that to reach my answer. To find molar mass, you must know the molar mass of carbon. You will of course be given useful information on the top. So nobody is expecting you to by heart the atomic numbers and atomic masses of elements. We will come to the periodic table question. Then I will let you know what minimum you are supposed to know about periodic table, what you need not know. So nobody is expecting you to by heart. Please come out of this idea that I must know atomic numbers and atomic masses by heart. You will be given, if you must have seen the paper, there is useful information given on the top wherein we will be giving atomic numbers, atomic masses, and any other useful information, Avogadro number or anything else that standard values which we expect you to use. Please go by that. So at molar mass of C5H10, molar mass of carbon is 12, and we have 5 carbons. So C5 will be 12 into 560 plus atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. We have 10 hydrogens, so 60 plus 10. My answer is 70, a 2-digit number. In my answer sheet, I will be entering 70. This is exactly how you need to navigate on the question. Understand what are the things you are expected to know. So as and how you start reading the question, the analysis should quickly start. इथिलीन आ गया मतलब ऑर्गेनिक क्वेश्चन, ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री का क्वेश्चन है, अल्कीन पे है, होमोलॉग पे है. मेरे को पता है कि होमोलॉग क्या है, राइट. कौन सा होमोलॉग पूछा है, थर्ड होमोलॉग पूछा है. ओके. See the time also you have for the entire paper, and for that entire paper, what is the time? I think it's 1.5 hours. Not very sure, but see that you how many minutes you have per question. Within that time you have to think on that question and you have to reflect on it. You have to do, chemistry may not have a lot of calculation except in mole concept questions. Many questions will be based on your theoretical understanding put to numerical. So it may not be as lengthy or solving as physics and maths may be, but then we will ensure that we are using your entire time. It is going, if it is going to be 1 hour paper, then 1 hour for each section, I think. So in 1 hour, you're doing 10 questions. So you have about 5 to 6 minutes per question. If some questions are getting done fast, we will ensure that some questions are lengthy. So the average time is 5 minutes. Now, what are the probable other? Okay, you got this question, you read this question. Does the story end over here? How should your thinking go? That if they are asking homologous series of alkenes in this paper, maybe in my paper they may ask homologous series of alkanes or alkynes, whatever types of compounds you have done in your curriculum, alcohols, ethers, esters, oic acids, any किसी का भी homologous series आ सकता है. What is the common thread for all homologous series? That the members, consecutive members, are going to be CH2 plus CH2 plus CH2 plus CH2. So if I know the first homolog of any type of compound, यहाँ पे alkene है, अगर alcohol है, तो the first is CH3OH, which is the second homolog plus CH2. C2H5OH, which is the third homolog plus CH2. Will I be able to find the molar masses? Yes. For all functional groups, instead of CH3OH, if it is CH3Cl, will I be able to find the homolog of this? Keep thinking on associated areas or probable questions, that is like backtracking from the question to the theory. Then after reading this, if you feel ki, I'm slightly doubtful about the functional groups. Once I know the functional groups, then homolog is easy. What will you do? Revise all functional groups. You have the list of functional groups in your 10th standard book. Make your own chart of functional groups, that okay, these are the functional groups I'm supposed to know. These are the first homologs of each functional group. Then what will be the consecutive homologs of the functional groups? So use one question to consolidate the questions that surround or the probable questions. Then instead of whatever molar mass, they could have asked you the number of CH2 groups in the third homolog. Anything can be asked. They can ask you the number of hydrogens in the third homolog, then your answer would have been 10. They would have asked you the probable isomers of the third homolog of this thing C5H10, that will be pentene. For example, pentene is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And pentene will have one double bond. Now this double bond can be here, it can be here. If it is here, is it a different compound or is it the same like this? Just the mirror image. And if it is here, isn't it the mirror image of this? So what are the probable positions of the double bonds? It can be between first and second carbon, or it can be between the second and third carbon. If it is a linear pentene, there is one question that is talking about iso and neopentene or butene something. If it is a linear compound, double bond can be here or here. So how many isomers? 2 for linear. If it is this thing, if it is a chain compound, then for 5 carbons, I can have 1 carbon over here. Or what is the other possible? This will be the neoform. Then how many isomers are possible? For this, double bond can be here, it can be here. For this, double bond can count the number of isomers. See from one question how many other questions we discussed. इस पे ये भी आ सकता है, इस पे ये भी आ सकता है, इस पे ये भी आ सकता है, इस पे ये भी आ सकता है. You have to think of all those questions that can come on that theory. That will be preparing for the exams. Don't just do one question, uska answer aa gaya, chalo ho gaya kaam. Nahi. If you go like this with each and every question, you will obviously revise the entire expected theory. Let us go to the second question now. An element X belonging to the third period. अच्छा, मतलब ये क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन विच टॉपिक, थर्ड पीरियड वगैरह आ गया, मतलब इट इज बेस्ड ऑन पीरियोडिक टेबल. One of the most favorite topics of the examiners. What you must know about the periodic table. You must know the structure of periodic table. Okay, what is the basic structure of periodic table? That is something you must know. How many groups, how many periods, that entire structure you must know. S block, P block, D block, F block. This is the D block. How many elements, how many groups in the D block? Then the P block. Okay, this is something you must know. No option on that. Then the F block. F block below here. How many groups in the S block? How many in the D block, how many in the P block, how many in the F block. What are their specific names? Alkali, alkaline metals, transition metals. Then we know that these are carbon, then the oxygen, then the halogens, then the zero group elements. What are their specific names? These are lanthanides and actinides. All these names, basic things you must know about the periodic table, because these terms will be very, very frequently used while designing the questions. If you get stuck on the basic term, you will not be able to identify from which area the question is coming. How many groups are there? How many periods are there? From where the D block starts? It starts from the fourth period, etc., etc. So the basic structure of periodic table has to be known very, very well. There is no option on that. In addition, if you know the first 20 elements, 1 to 20, which are the first 20 elements, that will be a great help. Starting from hydrogen, helium, then group 2, period 2 entire, period 3 entire, and period 4 only 2 elements, potassium and calcium, till atomic number 20. If you know where you just start the transition block, if you know these 20 elements with their positions and their atomic numbers by heart, that would be a great help to quickly zero in on what is the question asked. So first you must know the structure of periodic table. Second, if you know elements 1 to 20, wonderful. And third, if you know S and P blocks by heart, so more than wonderful. If you know all the elements of group 1, group 2, and group 13 to group 17, that would be a great, great help. But this is little optional. At least the structure and first 20 elements with their names, their positions, their atomic numbers, atomic mass numbers, if you know, that will be a very, very great help to quickly identify the question that is asked. Now let us go to the question once again. This is a very general instruction I'm giving you regarding the periodic table. You must know these things very well. So an element X belonging to the third period of the modern periodic table. So if you know third period, that is really good. That has a tendency of forming amphoteric oxide. So see, combining the concept of the basic structure of periodic table to the concept of amphoteric oxide. You have to identify the element, and then what, we cannot ask you the name of the element. We will not ask you how many letters in the spelling of the element. That can come, but that is not generally asked. But basically what this question is intended to ask कि वो कौन सा एलिमेंट है भैया थर्ड पीरियड में से जो एम्फोटेरिक ऑक्साइड बनाता है, उसका नाम चाहिए हमें, पर नाम तो नहीं पूछ सकते. Then we may ask its atomic number, we may ask its atomic mass number, we may ask the number of neutrons in it, we may ask the number of electrons in it. But here the examiners have asked the total number of electrons in its valence shell. So it is uh, one more twist that you must know what is the valence shell and how do we know the number of electrons in the valence shell. So you must also know the electronic configuration. How does this become a 5-minute question? The question which has a one word answer. So we must know what is the third period exactly. Okay, it starts with the sodium, then it goes to magnesium, then you have third period does not have D group, then it has aluminium, then it has silicon, then sulfur, then chlorine, and then neon. This is our third period. Sorry, argon. This is our third period. So now I must know first, as I told you, if you know first and second and third periods by heart, that is advisable. And then amphoteric oxides. What do we know? That metals form basic oxides. We have done this somewhere in our syllabus. And non-metals form acidic oxides. So of course, I will need something that is in the middle of this. So I will have to go to say group 13 or 14 to know what are amphoteric oxides. You must know what is an amphoteric oxide. Where does this come? It is SSC Standard 9, Chapter 5, page 67 that talks of amphoteric oxides. Oxides that behave as bases when they react with acids, oxides or substances that behave like acids when they uh, behave with bases. Ampho is a very general name. What is an amphibian? Animal that stays on land and water. Who is an ambidexter? One who works with both hands. So ambi always refers to a dual character. यहाँ भी है, वहाँ भी है. So amphoteric is substance that will behave like base with acid and like acid with base. So a general judgment, if you really don't know, then where will you get amorphous substances? Left में तो वो आएंगे जो basic oxides बनाते. We know metals make basic oxides. Right में तो वो आएंगे जो acidic oxides बनाते हैं, non-metals. So we will want somewhere metalloids or not so metals. If you know aluminum is the element that makes amphoteric oxides, nothing like. But if you have to judge, then you will judge between aluminum and silicon, because you should know by now that sulfur and chlorine are clearly non-metals. So if you know aluminum, nothing like it. अभी यहाँ तक तो गाड़ी आ गई कि मॉडर्न पीरियोडिक टेबल का थर्ड पीरियड, उसमें से एम्फोटेरिक कौन हो सकता है? एल्यूमिनियम. इज द स्टोरी एंडिंग देयर? नो. They are not asking you the atomic number of aluminum, which will be available in the list above. Useful information. They are not asking the atomic mass number of aluminum, which will also be available in the list above. They are asking you the valence shell electrons. Just in case you don't know the valence shell electrons, will you know the 2n square rule? 2, 8, 18, so on. And then if you know the atomic number of aluminum from the list above, that there are in all 13 protons, so it will also have 13 electrons. How will these 13 electrons be distributed? They will be distributed as 2, 8 and 3. And then I must know what is the valence shell electrons, the concept of valence shell electrons, where is this discussed? It is also discussed in your 8th standard book, and it is discussed more detail in your 9th standard book, 4th chapter, page 54 of SSC, that the valence electrons are the electrons in the outermost shell, the electrons that define the valency of that element. And how do we define valency? It is the number of electrons given, taken or shared. तो ये जो definitions या जो wordings हम लोग रट्टे मारते हैं ना, we just keep mugging the lines without knowing the meaning. You really have to switch your gears from words to concepts. It is okay if you don't know any definition word by word, something that you need in your school exam, to write the statements of laws, to write the statements of definitions, to write some information listed. What are the merits of Mendeleev? दर 10 पॉइंट आपल्याला पाठ असतात. What are the demerits of Mendeleev? 10 points पाठ असतात. What are the salient features of long form periodic table? Everything is by heart. It has 18 groups, 7 periods, this, that. That verbal information is not going to be directly tapped in our entrance exam. Please understand that. If you've understood what is valence electrons, तो बाय हार्ट तो नहीं है एल्यूमिनियम की. हाँ, लेकिन मेरे को इलेक्ट्रॉन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन पता है कैसे निकालते. एटॉमिक नंबर ऊपर दिया हुआ है, उसमें से आई कैन फाइंड दैट 13 electrons will be distributed as 2, 8 and 3, and therefore in the outermost shell there are going to be only 3 electrons. Now my answer is 3, but I'm supposed to enter it as a 2-digit number. Please enter it as 03. Don't enter it as only 3. It will be wrongly read by the system and you'll get 0 mark. This is a technical, what do you say, um, precaution that you need to take. That if the answer is coming single digit, then please enter it in the units place with the 0 in the text place. So that one question is tapping so much. What all the examiner is trying to check. If you wish to be an IIT student, we are picking up IIT's JEE students over here. So that micro understanding will be checked. We are not going to see your surface understanding. We will see your micro understanding. What all we want you to know? We want you to know the third period by heart. We want you to know the meaning of amphoteric oxide by heart. We expect you to know that aluminum is the element from the third period that forms amphoteric oxide, जो कि दिया हुआ है कहीं ना कहीं. तो पीरियोडिक टेबल हमने 10th में सिखाया, लेकिन एम्फोटेरिक ऑक्साइड क्या है 9th में बोल दिया है, तो वो कनेक्ट करने को आना चाहिए. फिर then we expect you to know what is the meaning of valence shell electrons. Then this is an oral question. If you are a master of all these 3 facts, this is an oral question. Aluminium 303 finished, 30 seconds. But then after doing this question in your practice session, what are the other things that you can note? That amphoteric oxide पूछा है. Then what will be acidic, basic, oxides and salts? Do I know the definition? How to define acidic salts? How to define basic salts? And what are amphoteric substances? Is there something more given on amphoteric in 8, 9, 10 syllabus? Let me surf. Go to the textbook PDF soft copy, type amphoteric. देखो कहाँ कहाँ amphoteric word मिलता है आपको, SSC में कहाँ मिलता है, ICSC में कहाँ मिलता है, वो पढ़ो. Keep that mind, keep that information in your mind. Maybe that information may be tapped somewhere in some question directly or indirectly. That is how we are expecting you to study in this coming time for MPI entrance, which will be a different type of orientation than what you will prepare for your board exams. Then valence electrons of all groups will I know? Obviously, group 1, 1, group 2, 2, group 13, 3. Okay. What about the D group? Valence electrons are always 4s2, 5s2. outermost there are 2 electrons, but the second shell, the number of electrons will be from D1 to D10. Then let me revise that. If it is copper, and we know that the tricky configuration of copper, what it goes, instead of 3D9 for S2, it goes 3D10 for S1 for Cu2 plus. Do I know that? Will it be tapped somewhere? So conscious study is what is expected and not verbal study. Let me repeat again and again. Don't be happy with the words you know by heart. Dig into the concept and correlation, networking of the information you have. Okay, as I've already explained, we expect you to know the details of first, second, third period elements. That will be like a great help for you to go ahead. Hmm? Okay, so now let us move on to the third question. Okay, now here is another question which is very easy. If you know something, calculate. Okay, but let me tell you that the answer for this question on our website was wrongly entered as 0. I have corrected it now. I have already told Sagar sir. I hope he has corrected. The correct answer for question number 2 is 03. Also for question 3, the answer was wrongly entered as 0. Question 2 and question 3, the answers entered as 00, some printing mistake. Let us see this question 3 now. Calculate. Okay. Calculate आया बोले तो क्या आ गया? Stoichiometry. Your entire numerical chemistry comes under stoichiometry, and you will need the basic understanding of mole and calculation for anything and everything under the umbrella of chemistry. So another very important topic that you must master is the concept of mole. Equally important as the periodic table structure, periodic trends. It should be on the tip of your tongue, tip of your fingers, concept of mole. Mass in grams of so many molecules of hydrogen gas. Now here, what is the first thing that you must know is that whenever it is about the number of particles, whenever you think of mole and concept of mole with number of particles, it is something to do with Avogadro number. Whenever we talk of mole in terms of number of particles, we will look at, quickly revise mole, that we can look at mole with respect to volume, we can look at mole with respect to mass, we can look at mole with respect to number of particles. What is 1 mole of any pure substance? It is always Avogadro number of particles. What can a particle be? It can be the atom, it can be the molecule in combined state, it can be an ion in charged particle state. So when I'm talking of, yes, Sumit, you wanted to ask something?
I accidentally raised
Sorry?
I raised the hand accidentally.
Okay, fine. No. Are you getting what I'm talking? Yeah. So whenever we talk of 1 mole with respect to the number of particles, this is the standard term we use, because a particle can be an atom. If I'm talking of some element like sodium, that is always stable in the monoatomic stage. What is 1 mole of sodium? It will contain Avogadro number. What is Avogadro number? 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. 10 raised to 23. Now, one more thing, one more, what I will say, precaution or just alert I would like to give you is that many times in our papers, we try and make things simple by taking Avogadro number as 6 into 10 raised to 20. So all our calculations will go as 6 into 10 raised to 23, and it will be clearly given in the useful information above. We will give you that Avogadro number. Take Avogadro number as 6 into 10 raised to 23. Somewhere, suppose we are asking you how many particles will be there. Here we are asking the mass. So here we can take the proper Avogadro number. But sometimes in our paper we ask that how many particles will be. So particle, it will have A into 10 raised to 23 particles. Find the value of A. Then specifically we want it as a whole number. When we want it as a whole number, we can't be working in 6.022. तो वहां पे हम लोग 6 के मल्टीपल्स में जाते कि 3 मोल्स अगर है तो 6 into 10⁻23 into 3 जाएगा तो 18 आंसर आएगा. तो वहां पे ऊपर 6 दिया हुआ है, आपको वही यूज करना है. Please do not proceed with the standard value of Avogadro number which you know. For our exam purpose, we are simplifying and using this number. So whenever such question, if at all it comes, please refer to the useful information above. If it is given, use Avogadro number as 6, use it as 6. If it is not given in questions like this, we are not really concerned about this 0.022. We are more interested in the mass. So if it is about a molecule, for example, hydrogen, hydrogen never exists as a single atom. Then hydrogen molecule, एक molecule is 2 particles. So Avogadro number of molecules will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of hydrogen. So how many atoms? It will be into 2. Understand that. And look at the twist in the question also. We may ask you how many atoms of hydrogen will be there in whatever 3 moles or 5 moles of hydrogen. Then 5 moles of hydrogen will have 5 moles of 5 into Avogadro number of molecules. So 10 into Avogadro number of atoms. Be very careful in reading the question. You may get twisted or flipped on one small aspect if you have not carefully read it. And फिर घर में जाके oh my God हो जाएगा. And how you will repent on not having read the minute thing in the question. So be very careful. Don't get fooled by the size of the question. इतना सा question इसमें 5 मिनट क्या? कुछ तो उसमें गड़बड़ है. दया ढूंढो. So the smaller the question you see, you must always be very careful in reading. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. अगर इतना छोटा question 5 मार्क के लिए दिया हुआ है, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. I need to be more and more cautious. And of course, our paper setters experts are there to misguide you, to distract you, to confuse you. It is like a fight between the examiner and you are not supposed to get confused. Coming to the ion, suppose sodium ion. How many sodium ions in 1 mole? Then it will be Avogadro number of ions. And then how many electrons it can have? See what question can come out over here. 1 sodium atom has 11 protons and 11 electrons. So 1 mole of sodium atom will have 10 moles of 11 moles of electrons. That is how much? Avogadro 11 into Avogadro number of electrons in 1 mole. But if I am asking how many electrons in 1 sodium ion, it will have 11 protons but 10 electrons. 1 electron is lost. So how many Moles of electrons in one sodium ion, 10 moles. And so how many in number? 10 into Avogadro. So they will ask you, it will have A into Avogadro number of electrons in sodium ion. Value of A is 10 and not 11. If you mistake in atom and ion, your answer goes wrong. See how many questions are coming out of this one question. This is exactly how you are supposed to think on each and every question in the coming time when you practice for MPI exam. Don't just blindly read the chapters and be happy that you have read everything. Yay, abhyas zala. Nahi. Now the mass of this. What will be the mass of 1 mole? It will be 2 grams. We know that molar mass is the atomic mass in grams. One hydrogen molecule has atomic mass is 2. So what will be the molar mass of 1 mole? 2 grams. And 18.066 into 10 raised to 24 will make how many moles now? This is clearly a third multiple of this. So this will be, and this is into 10. So this will be 3 into 10, that is 30 moles. 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 will make 1 mole. So 18.066 into 10 raised to 24 will make 30 moles. If 1 mole is going to be 2 grams, 30 moles will be 60 grams. Mass in grams of these many molecules of hydrogen gas will be 60 grams. If they had asked these many atoms, then it would have become half of this. Remember that. These many atoms of hydrogen, so molecules में आएगा double. अगर atoms आता तो एक atom का atomic mass है 1, तो 30 का हो जाता 30, not 60. So every word matters. Every word matters. Instead of molecule, had it been atoms, our answer would have been 30 and not 60. And both are 2-digit numbers. So as I said, this is a disadvantage of our 0099 pattern, that you don't have clue with the answer. Suppose one answer was 60 and another is coming 120, then you get a hint कि अरे 120 तो नहीं हो सकता, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. लेकिन यहाँ पे दोनों आंसर्स 2 डिजिट है, एक 30 एक 60 है. गलती से अगर आप एटम पढ़ते हो यहाँ पे और आंसर 30 लिखते हो, you don't have any clue that this can be a wrong answer. That is a disadvantage of the 0099 format. Okay, so every question, every word in every question has to be seen through a magnifying lens, and alertness should not be left throughout the exam. A very quick tip I would like to give you is that you are going to write a 3-hour exam. 1 hour physics section, 1 hour chemistry section, 1 hour math section. It is not going to be easy at all. And you need to keep yourselves physically fit and mentally fresh throughout the paper. So please ensure that you are taking healthy, light snacks in the morning. You should not be hungry. You should not be overeaten. First thing, take sufficient sleep the night before. If you are sleepy, drowsy, did you see the KBC of that young chap, 9-year-old chap? First day he was answering like anything, and second day his mother told he did not sleep the whole night. He was clapping in the bed. 8-9 वर्षाचा मुलगा होता. And he was clapping in the bed throughout. इतका गोड मुलगा होता, South Indian. He was answering like magic. He was answering day one. And he had scored 25 lakhs. Next day he scored 50 lakhs. And 140 का क्वेश्चन उसको आ रहा था, पर उसने गलत बोला और 320 पे आ गया. Because he didn't sleep the night before, he was looking drained the next day. So if you have not slept well, that can affect your performance. Take optimum sleep, eat light, and keep a bottle of refresher, sharbat, electrolyte with you. Keep sipping electrolyte throughout your paper. That will keep you mentally fresh. Your brain cells get dried, physically dried, when you think more and more. If you want to keep your sodium potassium pump perfect, keep a bottle of electrolyte, that will keep you fresh. A small jate tip on the way. So with this, now a whole Pandora of question opens. Mass in grams of any element and any number of molecules can be asked. So do I need to make a list of all elements and all possible? No. I need to know the concept that from the number of molecules, how do I arrive to moles? Of course, we will always give you some whole number multiple. We will, or at the most 0.5 or whatever. And then from that, how do I arrive to the mass in grams? So I need to connect the number of moles to mass in grams. So basically, I need to know the molar triangle. Instead of grams, you may be asked the volume, molar volume for gases and liquids. Then what is the molar volume? It is 22.4 liters at STP. Whenever we are talking of gases, we need to mention STP because with slightest change in temperature and pressure, the volumes of the gases change. So the molar volume of 22.4 liters is at STP, standard temperature and pressure. So they may give you the volume, 1 mole of hydrogen gas will weigh 2 grams. It will have Avogadro number of molecules in it, and its volume will be 22.4 liters at STP. Yesterday on Tuesday, Prashant sir talked of datum, related formula. This is one big interconnected aspect in chemistry. I've given this. Moles can be particles, it can be volume, or it can be molar mass. And these are interconvertible also. Mass can be converted to particles, particles can be converted to volume, volume can be converted to particles or mass. All three can be interconverted into each other. And it is very much possible that one information is given in terms of particles, another is given in terms of volume, and answer is asked in mass. You must know, this is just like using your regular metric conversion. How you use a metric conversion. Suppose one information is given in meters and another is given in centimeters and answer is asked in kilometers. What will you do? You will convert meters to kilometers, you will convert centimeters to kilometers, and then compute the answer. You get the final answer in kilometers. That is a smarter way to do. If you convert the meter into centimeter and find the answer in centimeter, again that answer you have to convert in kilometer because finally the answer asked is in kilometers. So just like you use this smart thing कि जिसमें आंसर पूछा है उसमें बाकी सब कन्वर्ट कर लो और उसी यूनिट में आंसर कैलकुलेट करो. So if they have given you the mass and if they have given you the mass and if they have given you the particles and if they have asked you the volume, convert mass to volume, convert particle to volume and compute your answer. Whatever you get will be your answer. That is the fastest way. Easier said than done, but this mark this as the red important area of your entire thing. And this jumping from one to another is very important. Then suppose molecule like Na2CO3. One molecule of Na2CO3 has 2 plus 1 plus 3, 6 particles. So it has 2 moles of sodium, 1 mole of carbon and 3 moles of oxygen. 1 mole of sodium carbonate will have 2 moles of sodium, 1 mole of carbon and 3 moles of oxygen. Then a question may come that 2 moles of sodium carbonate is having how many moles of oxygen or how many particles of oxygen? Yes, Dhruv, any doubt?
Ma'am, in the CO3, shouldn't it be like 1.5 mole of oxygen? Because
here we are talking of oxygen atoms, not molecules.
Okay.
Huh? So now suppose they are asking the mass of oxygen. it will be 16 into 3. Sorry, 16 into 3. Huh? What is oxygen
Okay.
molecule? It will be 32. But ether, 1 mole of sodium carbonate, some upper molecular mass कसा calculate करणार? We will do Na23 into 2, then C12 and O16 into 3, 48. So 1 mole of Na2CO3, the total molar mass will be 46 plus 12 plus 48. So it will have 48 grams of oxygen. So 3 moles will have how many grams of oxygen? So they may ask 2 moles. So 48 2s are 96 आ गया आंसर. अगर 3 moles पूछा तो अपना आंसर आएगा 48 into 3. That is 8 3s are 24, 4 3s are 12 plus 2, 144. Then they may ask you, find the mass of 3 moles of oxygen. If the answer is A, enter A by 3 in your bubble sheet. What is a clear hint that whatever answer you are getting is a multiple of 3, because by dividing by 3 you are getting a 2-digit number from 00 to 99. Most probably this is not a 2-digit number. See, this can also come as a distractor to you. The answer could have been 99, तो भी अपन को 99 नहीं चाहिए, examiner को 33 चाहिए. So it is not 100% sure that this is not a 2-digit number, but most probably when they are asking A by 3, it is like a hint to you that my actual answer may not be a 2-digit number, but it is definitely a number divisible by 3. So if by chance you get some number which is not divisible by 3, that is like a clear hint to you that you've made some mistake. Have you done some mistake in addition? Recheck. Because after dividing by 3, the answer should be a 2-digit number. Take these small hints while you do your questions and master mole concept. So after today, by next Thursday, what I would expect you to do is focus on mole concept as one very important topic, periodic trend as another important topic, and the third would be organic chemistry. Even if you focus on these 3 topics for this week, read all the related content of all 8, 9, 10 from these topics and think in the way, are you wearing some other glasses now after discussing 3 questions? That, oh, this is how I need to read. I didn't know this. ऐसे पढ़ना चाहिए क्या? Oh, okay, now I will do it. Get geared up. That is the purpose of this program. Understand, in 4 hours, can we do magic? The answer is yes and no. If you just look at these 20 questions that we are discussing, the answer is no. But if it is about the vision we are giving, and with that vision you work for the rest 1.5 months, we can do magic in these 4 hours, and that is exactly what we are heading on to. Coming to the next question, calculate the total number of neutrons in one atom of the element. अभी ये कितना simple हो गया यार, 8th standard. Number of neutrons. We all know that the expression for neutron is XAZ. Atomic mass minus atomic number gives us a number of neutron. ये तो 8th standard वाली बात होगी. फिर glitch कहाँ आ गया? ये 11th standard का question कहाँ हो गया? Smallest atom from the following list. How will you identify? What do you need to know? This is a question on periodic trends. What is the first thing that you need to know? You should be able to identify that all these are third period elements. Once again, where knowing the third period will be of great help to you. Even if you don't know, if you know the periodic positions, you can make out that 12, 13, 15, 16, 17 will all be in the third period. तो उतना बिगड़ेगा नहीं अगर आपको बाय हार्ट नहीं भी है, लेकिन अगर बाय हार्ट है ना, तो क्वेश्चन का ग्रिप बहुत बढ़ जाए. If you know third period at a glance, oh my god, all elements are from third period, and I want to find the smallest. What is the trend of atomic number? Atomic size when you go from left to right. Yes, Dhruv?
Ma'am, like in this periodic trend,
Yes.
will you take atomic size, right?
Yes.
So then shouldn't it decrease from left to right?
It will decrease from left to right. Can you explain the reason also?
Because in a period from left to right,
Hmm.
atomic size will decrease as effect of nuclear charge will increase.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
So nuclear charge will increase. How will that result in decrease of size?
so it will, for example, the shells are there. It will pull the atoms closer to each other, closer to the center nucleus.
Perfect. So what is happening from left to right? The number of shells are remaining the same. Magnesium 12 will be 282. Aluminum will be 283. P will be 285. This will be 286 and this will be 287. So every time we have the inner two shells of 2 and 8 and the outer electron increasing by 1. And because of this, what is happening is that the number of protons in the nucleus is also increasing. Magnesium will have 12 protons, aluminum will have 13, phosphorus 15, 16, 17. And these increasing number of protons are affecting the outermost electrons and therefore they will pull those electrons in. And therefore the size decreases from left to right. Is it a universal? What is going to happen in argon? It will increase again because of the completed shell. So that is why argon is not given. अगर argon भी देते तो भी आंसर क्लोरीन आता, लेकिन I don't know whether this is discussed in your 10th standard syllabus. But the decrease in size goes from group 1 to group 17 and not for group 18. With the completed octet, there is again electron repulsion and it increases the size. If it is not there in your theory till 10, forget it. It will not be used in your question. But you must know that the size decreases from left to right. Now, so first step, what we expect is you should identify that chlorine is the smallest atom. And now they are asking the number of neutrons. So it is 37 minus 17, 20. Once again, the atypical isotope of chlorine is used. So if someone of you gets slightly confused with Cl35 and Cl37, Cl35 and Cl37 both have 17 protons, but the number of neutrons is different. If someone of you misses out reading this 37, and with your normal understanding that chlorine has 17 protons and 18 neutrons, you enter answer 18, once again you are trapped. It is a two-digit number and there is no clue that this can be a wrong answer. So you must see that isotope Cl3717 is asked and therefore the answer over here should be 20 and not 18. I think even this answer is wrongly written. I'm not very sure, but check. If it is wrongly written on our website, the correct answer is 20. I've given the corrections wherever I found. As I looked into the answer keys here, I identified a few questions when the answer was wrong. I have given those corrections. I hope they've been done. If they are not done, make the corrections on your own level. So the correct answer over here is 20. So you need to know the periodic trends. And then, of course, this is a very simple question, not a very big deal of theory you need on this. I hope all of you all will definitely know AZ rule, how to find protons, electrons, neutrons, electrons in the neutral state of atom, electrons in the ionic state. For cations, the number of electrons will decrease. For anions, the number of electrons will decrease than the number of protons. So this will be the revision point. With the aid of this question, what are you going to revise? You will be revising the periodic trends. Where will you find this? Go to our periodic table ka, subject bifurcation. where of course I think periodic table and periodic trends will come only in 10th standard. Maybe in ICSE somewhere in 9th standard you may have that periodic table this thing reference. Let us just check. Yeah, organic chemistry नाही आपल्याला काय बघायचं. Periodic table SSC standard 10 chapter 2, CBSE standard 10 chapter 5 and ICSE standard 9 chapter 5. So ये question पढ़ लिया तो see it is monotonous to just keep on doing questions. If you can intercalate a question with the associated theory, then you will consolidate your understanding also much better, instead of just going on doing questions. You can always keep intercalating questions with the associated theory and enjoy your study and do quality study. One is rote learning and one is quality learning. At M Prakash, we will always want quality learning. Okay, why this is shrunk down now? How do I increase its size? 1 second. Are you getting some meaningful insights? Don't get scared. Gear yourselves up. Don't get scared.
काय झालं?
हा, अरे ते एकदम छोटच झालं. आता बरोबर आहे का फॉन्ट साइज?
हो हो बरोबर आहे.
या काहीतरी मी केलं ते एकदम श्रिंकच झालं. Okay, so the next question now. We were on question number 5, I guess, no? Neutrons. Okay. Now question number 5. Okay. Identify from the following list the number of elements which will not react with water in the absence of air even at high temperatures. So what is now? This is another very important area. Different reactions given in all your entire textbooks, 8, 9, 10. Any reaction will be used in any way. We will check how well you've understood the reaction with respect to the reaction conditions, with respect to the probability of the reaction, with respect to other reactions which are not possible. Now, this particular question is directly based on the reactivity series. If some element has to react with water, it has to be a displacement reaction wherein the metal should displace hydrogen from H2O. And if it has to displace hydrogen from H2O, then it has to be an element which is above hydrogen in the reactivity series. Okay, so you must know the reactivity series. Where will you find it? So this is one question that is actually based on only one concept. Reactivity series of metals by heart. This is one area in chemistry where we expect memorization. You must know the entire reactivity series by heart. There is one mnemonic that I usually tell my students, if you like to take it up. POSOKAMA You can make your own if you wish. Posokama alzi arle hai po me si go la. This is not on the symbols, this is on the names. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper. This is not cobalt because we are not going by symbols. We are going by the first two letters of the name. Copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. So these are the elements that are above hydrogen. These are the elements that are below hydrogen. There are a few more additions, but this is a very basic reactivity series. This is one mnemonic, Posokama, Alziarle, Hai Po Mesi Go Pla. If you want, you can take it down. You can make your own mnemonics, you can make your own base, but this is one aspect that you must know by heart. So now I know which are the elements that are above hydrogen will react with hydrogen. And now helium, argon are noble metals, they do not react. And gold, silver, mercury are below hydrogen, so they will not react. So only these five, na? 1, 2, 3, no, 4, sorry, why have I written 5? Sodium, gold will not react, silver will not react, mercury will react, potassium, calcium, and lithium. So it should be 0, 4. Please make it 0. Other 5, how many do not? Which will not react. Okay. So 4 are reacting. So my answer is remaining 5. Answer is 0, 5. See how I was getting goofed up myself. They are asking how many elements do not react. So it is easier for us to find out how many react using the reactivity series. One thing that you must know by heart. This is a question based on types of elements. Now, once again, note that here the number of element matters. So, if you go wrong by even one, your answer is gone. You must be able to identify exactly the number of elements or the number of things, items that are asked. So see, these type of questions are very critical. How many of the following reactions are possible? 10 दिले, तुम्ही 4 करेक्ट केले आणि एक चुकला तरी तुमचा आन्सर गेलाय. These are very tricky questions. Remember, बघायला सोपे वाटतात, but they are very tricky. Your answer goes wrong by one this side or that, you lose all marks. You've identified 3 correct. You're doubtful about lithium and you count it in the other side. Your answer will become 0, 6. Once again, a 2-digit number, no clue that it is wrong. So these are very slippery questions. Number questions are very slippery. One item goes from this side to that and your entire answer goes wrong. You have to be very, very careful and perfect understanding of the theory. These type of questions check perfect understanding of the theory. Other questions, like you have this list, there can be list of elements, metals, non-metals. Then we are going to see specific reaction like questions. There will be a list of reactions given to you, out of which how many are possible, how many are not possible, is a very, very favorite question. Reaction chain questions are very, very common in the earlier papers of 2012-13. Later on, not many, but still, these type of questions can always come. And please do not shortlist any pattern looking at the last few papers. Huh? The pattern can become topsy-turvy anytime. So do not categorize in your mind कि last 2 years में organic के questions ज़्यादा आए हैं, acid base के नहीं आए तो अभी नहीं आएंगे, metallurgy के कोई भी question आ सकता है. We are strictly not forming any pattern because we expect you to know in and out theory. Now the next question again on hydrocarbons and nomenclature of hydrocarbons here. Yes, can someone name this particular hydrocarbon? Isobutylene. Can someone tell me the IUPAC name of this particular compound?
Butene, isobutene,
Butene. What will be the IUPAC name?
butene,
Butene. How will we draw this structure? Think over. First of all,
propane.
sorry,
2-ethyl propane.
ethyl propane. Think over again.
Two methyl, right?
it's isobutylene.
It is isobutylene is the colloquial name.
It should be 2-methyl.
2-methyl.
2-methyl prop 1.
Dimethyl ethene.
Dimethyl ethene.
It can't be
2-methyl butene.
2-methyl
Butene.
butene. If you are putting a methyl group, what will be the parent hydrocarbon? Will it be but or prop?
prop. No?
So,
2-methyl prop 2-in.
2-in. How will you number?
2-methyl
1-in.
prop 1-ene.
2-methyl. See now, one of this will become the parent chain, either this or this. Anyone is fine because we have CH3 groups. So this becomes a parent chain, C double bond C, and this comes as the attachment on the middle carbon. Will that be the straight chain structure of the given compound? Branch chain. Now, what is the parent hydrocarbon over here?
The first one on the left.
Propane.
Propane.
Either असत ना करते बरोबर आहे ना करते. Yeah. So either this is the parent or this is the parent. I have to include the double bond in the parent. And then methyl group is attached to C1 or C2. Am I drawing the correct shape? Yeah. And where is the double bond? It is on C1 and 2. So while labeling, will I call it prop 1 in or prop 2 in?
Prop 1-in.
Prop 1-in.
Prop 1 in. I have to give the lower number. And can I call it an ethene derivative?
Yes.
No. I have to select the longest possible chain.
Oh.
I can't call it ethene because if I can take prop chain, C3 chain, then C2 chain will be wrong naming.
Yeah.
So it is a prop derivative. It is a prop derivative with a double bond on the first this thing and with a methyl group attached to the second carbon. So it will be 2-methyl prop 1-in. That will be the IUPAC name of this hydrocarbon. What is the question asked over here? How many hydrogen atoms are present as methyl groups? So what is a methyl group? You must know what is the alkyl group. It is the alkane is CnH2n plus 2 and the respective alkyl becomes CnH2n plus 1. So if it is methane CH4, then methyl is CH3. If ethane is C2H6, ethyl is C2H5, one hydrogen less. So I want how many methyl groups and how many hydrogen on methyl groups. See, there can be two questions. How many methyl groups are there? Answer would be 0, 2. And how many hydrogens in methyl groups? Answer is 0, 6. There are 6 hydrogens. These are associated as methyl. And this is not a methyl group. CH2 is not a methyl group. Understand that. So you must, first of all, this structure is not given to you. So whenever this name is given to you, isobutylene, what is the first thing? You should be able to draw this structure. Isobutylene is the colloquial name. So when we look at colloquial names, we take the total number of carbon atoms and not the parent chain. When it comes to IUPAC, we will call it a prop derivative. But for isobutylene, it will be 4 carbon with 1 branch and 1 double. So this will be your parent structure, and then puts H3s wherever that will be. So first you should be able to draw this structure. Then you should be able to understand what is the meaning of methyl group. And then you have to focus on what is asked, hydrogen atoms. They are not asking you the number of methyl groups. They are not asking you the number of double bonds. They are not asking you the number of carbon atoms. How many questions can come out of this? Total number of hydrogen atoms. B question हो सकता है तो आंसर हो जाएगा 8. How many carbon atoms? आंसर हो जाएगा 4. How many methyl groups? आंसर हो जाएगा 2. How many hydrogen in methyl groups? आंसर हो जाएगा 6. What will be the molar mass? This is C4H8. So 12 fours are 48 plus 8, 56. Somewhere there is a question where the answer is coming 56. So how many questions can come out of this one isobutylene structure? So isobutylene पे story खत्म हो गई क्या? नहीं. I can have isopentene. I can have, then what will be the IUPAC name? Instead of isobutylene, they could have given 2-methyl prop 1-ene. It is the same structure, should not get confused. तो अभी ये क्वेश्चन आ गया तो खाली ये आंसर सॉल्यूशन. अभी ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री पे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन है. I'll give you the paper analysis chart. Some very good questions on organic chemistry are there. So just reading the solutions is not going to solve your problem, because let me tell you one more thing. A question that has come once will never come again. So don't do that question. Okay, that is one smart tip. की तो प्रश्न पाठ करून शून्य उपयोग होणार आहे, कारण तो प्रश्न उलट एकदा आलाय ना, म्हणजे हा प्रश्न येणार नाहीये. शांत राहा. पण ह्याच्या सारखा दुसरा किंवा अशा ह्या अंडरस्टँडिंगचा दुसरा प्रश्न येऊ शकतो. So don't by heart the questions. On the contrary, if one question has come, it is definitely not going to come again. Because if we see a same or similar question in earlier papers, we cancel that question. When we sit for paper setting, we cancel that question. की अरे हा 2018 मध्ये विचारलाय. कधी कधी होतं. When we are setting questions are similar. अरे ये पूछा है, इसको नहीं पूछते. Twist करते हैं उसको, change करते कुछ. So same question will never come. But you have to study the theory around that or similar questions. I hope I'm giving you the smart goggles, fishing rod in your hand. Yes, Adhiraj?
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Ma'am, just
Yeah.
like you said, for this isobutylene, ma'am, if we
Yeah.
find out the structure of butene also, and if we count the number of hydrogen atoms in the
Yeah.
CH3 groups, ma'am, we are getting the same value. So, is it a
Yeah.
correct method?
No, but it may not come every time. I'm not very sure. But butene and isobutene, yeah, the total number of hydrogens will always come same. But we will have to check for the methyl groups. If you look for butene, straight chain compound, then and whether it will go for higher hydrocarbons also as a rule. Okay, for butene now, if you take straight chain butene,
Ma'am, for butene, it is coming correct, same.
coming same. Yeah, no, it is not coming same. See, if it is straight now, then this is CH3, this is going to be CH2, this is going to be CH2, only one methyl. for butene. This is again CH2, and this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, this is only CH. So the total number of hydrogen atoms will remain same. But methyl group for chain butene is CH3, CH2, CH2. CH. So only one methyl. Understood?
But if we consider the double bond in between the carbon 2 and 3, then
Then
it
that
comes
is
out to be,
2-butene. Yeah, but then that is an isomer of butene. No? You cannot generalize it as butene.
right, okay.
So for 2-butene, it will come same, but that can be a coincidence. You cannot set it as a rule. No? Yeah, so it's better to do isobutylene बोला है तो isobutylene. Okay. For 2-butene, it will come. For 2-butene, it will be CH3, CH double bond CH, CH3.
Ma'am, I had also taken 2-butene, and that is why I got the same answer.
But then 1-butene is also possible, no? So you cannot generalize it as butene. Butene can be 1-butene or 2-butene. है ना? So might as well not take it that way. Because it may not work everywhere. And then where you are going to do all the combinations in the exam. So don't think of that option. Okay. Right. Then the next question. Mendeleev, again periodic table aa gaya, and this is the early attempts. Mendeleev kept vacant places. So this is a very, very theory-based question. This is very much a theory-based question. You must know this ECA concept. ECA aluminium is gallium. So what are other ECAs of the Mendeleev? You must know. ECA silicon is germanium. Then here they are asking, for example, element X in the modern periodic table was named as ECA aluminium. Identify X. Now here they are asking us to identify ECA aluminium, which is gallium, and atomic number of it. So in the list above, atomic number of gallium may be given as ready-made. Then all you need to do is identify the name gallium, go to the useful information above, look 31 and write 31. Even if it is not given, can we find out? We know the position of aluminium. It is in the 13th group and second period. So the element below that will be in the 13th group and third period. No? Am I right? Or fourth period? Boron, aluminum, boron. Okay, this is the third period, so it will be in the fourth period. So from third period to fourth period, it will be plus 18. क्योंकि बीच में D block आ गया. From second to third, it is plus 8. Understand this. Lithium is 3. Sodium is 11 plus 8. Potassium is 19 plus 8. But rubidium, somewhere this is coming up in some question. We need to find the atomic number of rubidium. It is not plus 8, it is plus 18 because beach mein D block are. So it is not 27, it is 37. So if you know the periodic position of the element, which group, which period, then from the atomic number you know, you can compute also. And this number may be given in the useful information above, because if we are just expecting you to identify gallium and not to know or compute its atomic number, we will give it to you. Your job is to know that ECA aluminum is gallium. So this is a completely theory-based question. What extra things you need? You need to know now. अभी Mendeleev आ गया, तो क्या करोगे? Go back to the theory, read Mendeleev, read the what do you say, the highlights of Mendeleev, merits of Mendeleev, demerits of Mendeleev. What are the things that he swapped? So many things he has done. Na? Changed potassium to argon, then changed some cobalt and nickel, swapped it. then corrected the atomic number of boron, case something like that. Revise it. Anything of that can be used. Write the atomic number of the element whose atomic weight was corrected from so to so. Any theory-based question. So this is again on the earlier attempts of periodic table. To use one question and understand the theme and then predict or see if you become the examiner. That is how I always tell that you are the paper setter. तो अभी ये क्वेश्चन के जैसे दूसरा क्वेश्चन बनाना है तो क्या क्या बन सकता है. It is such a fun way to learn, you know, that instead of working on set questions, you set questions. And if your friends, if your buddy is working, preparing for the same exam, you set a question and give to your friend. Ask your friend to set a question and give you. When you start thinking like examiner and how to design the question, decide the theme, what you wish to check. फिर उसमें और एक कड़ी डालो, और एक कड़ी डालो, और एक कड़ी डालो. ईशान, यू आर स्क्रिबलिंग. और एक कड़ी डालो उसमें, मेरे को ये भी चेक करना है, मेरे को वो भी चेक करना है. उस पर एक बढ़िया सा क्वेश्चन बनाओ, डालो अपने फ्रेंड को, चैलेंज points banao. It will be such a fun way to learn. You can always add interest and pump to whatever you work and convert it from monotony and boring to very, very interesting. It's all up to you. Right now, we are making you exam oriented, but later for your JEE preparation, unless you are enjoying the subject, you will not be able to sustain with the pressure of 2 years. It's going to be grueling work. Those who are trying to jump or wishing to jump into this big well now, let me make you aware, it is not going to be easy at all. Now this pentan to own. Once again, we need to know the functional group. ONE will mean ketone. What is the difference in on and al? Both are C double bond O's, but aldehydes are always on the terminal carbon. Then it becomes al. And when that C double bond O is in the middle carbon, it becomes on. Understand? So als, aldehydes, and oic acids, COOH, are always on C1. If there is no other functional group, I don't know if you are working for multiple functional groups, I guess not. If there are more than one functional group, then there is a hierarchy order which we need to observe. But if there is only one functional group, then al is and oic acids are always on C1. There is one question somewhere which is asking which of the following is the correct IUPAC name. Then we can never have two oic acid or two al. Never. Als and oic acids will always be on C1. And ons will never be on C1, because if this comes on C1, it will become pentanal. It will not remain pentanol. If this CO group comes on C1, CHO, वो pentanal हो जाएगा. और double bond और कहीं है तो pentanal हो जाएगा. But carbonyl group on C1 can never give you ketone. So for ketone, double bond has to be on the middle carbon. So first of all, you must be able to draw the structure of pentan to on. And then how many CH2 groups now they are asking. Now see here, this is the structure. This is CH3, this is CH3. Here they are asking how many groups. In the earlier question they are asked how many hydrogens. So here our answer will be just 0, 2. See the small what will say glitches in the question, and you are going to be anxious, tensed when you write the exam. You will tend to make these small mistakes, getting confused between groups, attached hydrogens. They may ask you how many carbons has 2 hydrogens on it, or how many carbon has no hydrogen on it. We can observe that C3 has no hydrogen on it because one carbon attached here, one carbon attached here, and one double bond O. So there is no H on this carbon. So if the question comes, in pentan 2-one, how many carbons has no hydrogen attached on it? Your answer will be 0, 1. How many carbons has 2 hydrogens? 0, 2. How many methyl groups? 0, 2. How many hydrogens on CH2 as CH2? 4 hydrogens. See how many variety of questions are coming out of this. How many isomers are possible over here? This double C double bond O, pentanone, can be on C2, it can be on C3. Can we have pentan 4-one? Can we have pentan 4-one?
It will be same as pentan 2-one.
Exactly. So pentan 4-one, if this double bond comes on here, then we are going to number it from this side because we need the smallest number on the functional group. So we can have only 2 isomers in linear. Suppose we go for a branch chain, we will have more. But if we are having a linear carbon chain, then only 2 isomers, pentan 2-one or pentan 3-one. So how many questions are coming? How many isomers in linear? Now, if you are going for branch chain, then we can have uh, one carbon over here, that is one iso possible, but then it will not be pentan. Understand? If you go for a branch chain, this becomes a butan but base. Then if we go for this C5 chain, then it becomes a prop base. And we cannot have this because over here for the central carbon, there is no space for a carbonyl group, and if I put a carbonyl group on any of the peripheral carbon, it is going to be an al and not on. So we cannot have what will say propene on like this. We can have only straight chain propene on where the carbonyl will go on the second carbon. So small things. Think over this and enjoy. किती पण आपण explore करू शकतो. The point is you must explore a question and think of the various combinations and enjoy what you are learning. That enjoyment will be your real takeaway. And then even if you don't crack our IIT JEE, this entrance exam, wherever you go, this work is going to help you. Your work always stays with you. Make a common big chart of all functional groups and their basic homologs. And write all random structures. जो मन में आएगा, फ्रेंड्स भी, एक स्ट्रक्चर आप बोलो, फ्रेंड ड्रॉ करेगा, एक स्ट्रक्चर फ्रेंड बोलेगा, आप ड्रॉ करो. And you should come out with the structure in 30 seconds. Put a bet of 30 seconds. If there is some parent or somebody in your house who knows little chemistry, then ask them to ask you any random structure and you should be able to draw it, whatever structures you've done, in 30 questions. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is what we've done. Okay. Now element X is the most electropositive element of period 4. So what you must know again, how does the trend of electropositivity go from left to right? The left side is the most electropositive, right side is the most. Just now I mentioned about this. So the fourth period, most electropositive will be potassium. And what is the total number of neutrons in the cation formed? Now this is a distractor. Whether it is a neutral atom or whether it is a cation, is the number of neutrons going to change? So point number 1, you must be able to identify that this is potassium. Neutral potassium will have 19 protons and 39 atomic mass. So 20 neutrons. What will be the case for K+? Neutrons will remain the same. What is going to change? Electrons is going to change. Protons will also remain the same. K plus में protons will be 19, electrons will become 18, and neutrons remain to be 20. So asking the number of neutron in cation, if you fumble over here, that because of plus charge, neutron will also go by less by 1, you may enter the answer instead of 20 as 19. So this is just to fumble you, asking neutron in the cation. So simple information को क्लिच कैसे बनाते हैं to trap the student. Okay, be very careful in such questions. Don't get fumbled. Probable other questions, as I told, first 20 elements, know the this thing. And apart from that, not so common, information like which is the most electropositive element, which is the most electronegative element, which is the element which is the smallest atom in the whole periodic table, which is the biggest, all that. If you keep a list ready or in your mind, the entire periodic table should be on your mental board, like that what you play solitaire, पत्ते पेशेंस अपन खेलते हैं ना, position of every element, left right up down, उसके क्या होगा, the whole skeleton of periodic table should be internalized. You should not have any ambiguity of that. Now here, total number of possible chemical reactions. Again, a slippery question. Number, total 10 reactions are there. There is no G given over here, I think purposely, because we are using G for gaseous state. So not to confuse you, but the total number of reactions over here is 10 reactions. And out of that, how many reactions are possible? Now? And that it is already mentioned that the reactions are unbalanced. So don't look that the reaction is unbalanced, so it is not possible. See how many reactions are chemically possible, whether left hand side elements can combine with each other and give the products. Don't look at the balancing, because now see, this is another glitch over here, because if you see, the reactions are unbalanced. And if you say that ये reaction unbalanced है तो ये possible नहीं है, then you are going to put a wrong reaction on not possible side. You are not asked to see the balancing of the reaction. Okay, you can see some reactions are unbalanced. For example, this reaction, it is unbalanced. Some other reaction may be unbalanced. You're not supposed to look at the balancing of the reactions. See whether these reactions are chemically possible. Reference for this, again, this question comes as assorted. You must know the reactivity series. Some of these reactions are based on reactivity. Some of these reactions are based on neutralization. Some of these reactions are based on redox concept. So many things you must know. If it is a redox reaction, does it take place? So we are going to elaborate more on this in the next class. But here I have listed how many, which of these reactions will take place for what reason. For example, Cu and dilute HCl does not react. Copper is below hydrogen. It does not react with dilute HCl, but it does react with concentrated HCl. So see, it is minute again. Instead of dilute, if it was concentrated, hot copper does react with concentrated HCl. So again, a very small glitch, very slippery. These kind of questions, you need to be a real genius to really hit on the correct number of elements that are on the yes side and no side. And if you observe the papers, in some papers, we have used the same reactions. We have asked how many of these are redox reactions. Next paper we have asked how many of these are not redox reactions. So you need the same parameter for both. एक में लिखना है कितने redox है, एक में लिखना है कितने redox नहीं है. So this will not take place. This is again copper is below zinc, so it will not displace zinc. So this is based again on our reactivity series. This is a redox reaction, it will take place. This is not a displacement reaction. So this is a redox reaction and this will take place. This is a simple thermal decomposition reaction and this will take place. Then it's become so slow. Then again CuFeSO4 will not take place because copper is below iron. So most of these reactions which are not taking place, A, B and E are all three based on reactivity series. But look at reaction H. It is actually a double decomposition reaction, but this will not take place because what is the condition for double decomposition reactions? That both the reactants should be soluble salts. Here BaSO4 is shown as a precipitate. It is an insoluble salt. So it will not take place. So here we are using our knowledge of basic requisite of double dec. So this is actually the ulta reaction that takes place. ZnSO4 and BaSO4 aqueous will some mistake. यहाँ पे भी actually it should have been ZnCl2. Sorry, BaCl2 over here. But the whole reaction is printed only wrong. But it is not taking place, so we can't call it a printing mistake also. You can simply say that both places SO4Cl2, SO4, तो ये भी possible नहीं है. So that could be a very simple criteria for you to know why some reaction will not take place. Then this is CaO plus H2O, CaOH twice, it will take place, and SO2 plus H2, it will also take place. And the last one, कोण आलं गं? नाही, कोण दिसतंय का? And now this is oleum. This is a खालच्या ह्याच्यात बघ. खालच्या मेन डोर स्टेशनला कोण आहे बघ. So this is oleum H2S2O7. This is again a very special compound. I found it in ICSE standard 10. So this is a very special reaction. This is a very slippery question. So total 6 reactions are taking place. Probable other questions. This is a comprehensive question. So it really needs a great expertise to decode and to find the exact number of higher stages. Me session मध्ये I'll call you in 2 minutes. Yeah. नाही आपल्या बिल्डिंग मधलेच आहे. So you need a real good expertise for the last question. Have you comprehended a few things after today's lecture? How you need to, I will share the syllabus planner, I will share the paper analysis with you. So go by one topic, read it very carefully. If you see the paper and the question, track the question, check the examiner's mindset, look for every line how this particular information can be asked in a numerical form. Don't go for the statements, go for the core thing, go for the combined concepts. इसको मिला के कैसे question हो सकता है. Start thinking like the examiner. Okay, that is for today. Next class, I'm going to give you a few very typical questions from the past year, which I want you to work on. So next class, there will not be any introduction time. I spent about 10 to 15 minutes in giving you the basic. Next class we'll directly go for the 30th April question paper, and then maybe a few atypical questions from the papers. That will be. But meanwhile, you can start reading in this fashion, so you will be better geared for the next class. All right. Stop for today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.